What the fuck is up, party people? My name is Mystery, and welcome back. I know, shocking, Mystery CD returns to his channel, and there's only one boy that could get me to come out of retirement, and it's this motherfucker right here, Rotom-Heat. For those of you who do know me, you know I absolutely adore this Pokemon. Would stick my dick in a toaster, absolutely, or the oven, or whatever the fuck Rotom-Heat wants to become. He's my man. You know, I really like this Pokemon, especially in Gen 8. I think he's honestly a borderline top 15. I don't know what, clickbaity thumbnail and title I'll use for this video, but I think he's borderline top 15, top 10. I really do, just considering points. Like, a friend of mine, Tristan, likes to talk about Nidoqueen as one of the better ones because of the points. I think this has to be in the conversation. I mean, you can get it in some leagues for 13 points, and just the versatility it brings. Fire Electric is an amazing typing, especially when you have Levitate. And then the introduction of Boots in Gen 8. This Mon, it went from, I think, really, really solid in Gen 7 with, like, Z moves, like Z Overheat. Gen 6, I think it was pretty garbage, to be honest with you. But this Mon, really, it became something special in this gen, and we're going to talk about it. So, like I said, one of my favorites, we're going to hop right in. Basic defensive, pretty much what you're going to be seeing more often than not in Gen 8. Not exactly this EV spread. Speed is just for, like, something like Nidoqueen, if you want to outspeed things like that. This can check things like Coco, obviously. Really good for electric, really good for flying. Fire, pretty much same kind of concept. You get the type chart, but overall, it's pretty tough to beat. And if you need something like Pain Split instead of Defog, it has recovery. You can run Resto Chesto. I'm not a huge fan of it just because I really like Boots or Rocky Helmet, because I think some people don't even like look at the matchup. Sometimes they just throw Boots on. But if your opponent, say, has like only Rocker is Rhyperior, I don't, you can still run Boots. I'm not saying you shouldn't, but I think you should really assess your matchup and look and be like, okay, what are their main rockers and are they good against my team? Because if you show up and they don't have any hazards, then you just wasted your item. And Rocky Helmet can go a long way in beating shit. So, yeah, this is just other options you can throw on there. Obviously, we already talked about Defog. I was just going to have Pain Split in that spot otherwise. It gets all three of the main status moves, T-Wave, Toxic, and Willow, which is, fucking amazing. And then Plot, which it got Nasty Plot in Gen 8, I believe. And honestly, it's pretty good on defensive. You can kind of set up on other defensive Pokemon and really punish them. And kind of, you can shorten the battle a little bit like that. I really like defensive Nasty Plot, but also offensive Nasty Plot is fucking awesome because this Pokemon has 105 special attack. Nothing to sneeze at whatsoever. Its coverage isn't great, obviously. It's really just Electric, Fire, and Ghost. And then you have cool things like Store Power, which I don't think gets talked about enough because it's kind of interesting. There's like a few scenarios where it's good. I don't think it gets any defensive setups. Yeah, it's mostly just special attack raising. I mean, look, you get that ominous wind boost, and you set up all those, and then you store power. I'm just saying. Overall, though, very, very solid Pokemon. I really, really like Nasty Plot. I still would run Boots most of the time on that type of stuff, just so you can keep your health up, set up a lot easier, and actually take advantage of the special attack you have. So after that, my boy, Trick or Treat. Very, very good Trickmon. I think a little underrated set on him because people are very Boots reliant. We will just kind of skip ahead to here. So, like, this is a set I ran for Trick, which was Ring Target. You can beat things like Gastrodon, Normal Swampert, Seismitoad. The things that normally would beat you. And you can run things, like Hex with like Toxic or Willow or whatever you want to run. But I feel like this set really, really can help because it throws them off guard, and then their electric switching's just gone for the game. Unless they have, a Dragon or a Volt Absorber, But a lot of teams that, they just bring their Swampert and they're like, all right, I'm good against Rotom. Now you really can take advantage of that. And yeah, I'm a really, really big fan of Trick. Usually you're going to run it about like 3 times a season at most, but it's definitely a good mix-up. I really, really enjoy it. After that, just some other niche options. Disarming Voice for the Hydreigon matchup you will inevitably have. Or like Komodo, but yeah, it's definitely not great. I like Foul Play versus things like Megaladios that are setting up with like Dragon Dance or whatever. I think it's a very helpful one. It gets the screens that just have light screen on there because I can't put both, but it gets screens, which is cool. And then I like Discharge really on defensive or offensive with Nasty Plot, because Discharge is such a fucking annoying move. It's just Electric Scald, and yeah, that move is pretty busted because Para is dumb. And yeah, let's talk about some team options. So for Rotom-Heat, I'm a big fan of steals. I think having steel types takes a lot of defensive pressure off of Rotom, and we can take a look at some teams that I'm talking about here. So this is a team I'm a big fan of. It's the John W core, I believe, that my boy Jamal, of course, had a steal. Shout out Jamal. And yeah, like this team comp right here, I'm a really big fan of. You have a lot of pivots, and you're not making Rotom the star, which is something I really want to stress. Rotom-Heat, if you try to make him the star of the team, he's not going to be. But if you draft around him well, where you have Mawile, Dragapult, Nidoking offense, and or Mienshao, and then you draft shit like Mandibuzz, even my boy Munchlax, but like Blastoise, and you can let Rotom just kind of fill in and be that guy. It is so deadly. And yeah, I'm a really big fan of how he constructed this team. Obviously, it's not really his exactly. It's more the John W core, but still his spin on it. And fuck, the Articuno Galar sucks. That shit ain't never getting a draft league breakdown. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Mega Mawile with Rotom. As you can see, I also drafted it back in Season 2 of NCL. I really just think good pivots and good steals are really nice. And if you want to get something in the middle of that, you can go with something like Scizor, which I'm not a huge fan of normal Scizor in draft, especially in Gen 8. It's a little but it gets knockoff, which is huge. It has removal, which takes that pressure off Rotom, U-turn obviously, and then priority. Not, this is just kind of what Scizor will do, but it really does a lot for Rotom. You can take a lot of pressure off of it. But if you want a more traditional bulky steal, my boy Aggron right there. And for any of you that watched in Season 3 of NCL, it won Defensive MVP. And Rotom was a huge part of winning that for him because they pair so well together. And you kind of, with Rotom, unless you're playing Excadrill, you take out the grounds for Aggron. And yeah, really big fan. Surrounding Rotom with hazards as well is just super helpful, whether that be rocks or spikes. And as you can see on the Season 2 team that I had 2 spikers. I had Chestnut and Gren. Big fan of spikes with Rotom. Spikes in general are just busted, but being able to set up hazards for him is super nice. And bulky grasses, just in general, very nice for Rotom. And then last thing I really want to stress is speed, because Rotom himself, 86 is not bad for speed, but it's not great. It just kind of a mid-speed tier. It's good for a defensive mod, not great for offensive. And Gren is something that also gets spikes. It gets, crazy speed, good coverage. I like Gren a lot, and, shocker, he was on this team as well. I, gonna gas myself up because I really like this team. And, yeah, so that's gonna pretty much do it. Leave some suggestions, whether that be in the comments, in my Discord DMs, hit me up on Twitter, @BasedMystery. And, yeah, that's pretty much gonna do it. I really want to thank you all for watching, and be ready for the Archeops video that's coming soon. Take care. Bye-bye.